Hi, Kevin Blanche. Right here where this shot is the business school that I attended. The legendary Clyde Cooley passed away in 2000. #1 school of business in the United States here in Ogden, Utah. But anyway, I want to talk about, I'm an antique collector. And you know, I'm in the stock market industry. I have been for years and years and years. I've got this that I saved for years and years and years. This is 1933, right after the election. History is repeating itself. Article after article, it's the exact same arguments that we had then, exact. Now let's talk about it in an economic sense, and let's get real. Look, this economy is improving. It is improving. Apple over 300. Now, I lost my job on Wall Street. I got replaced by a computer. There was 32 of us that worked for this firm, for this greedy, sickening, 82-year-old billionaire who's so sick. 32 of us, we all lost our jobs, everyone, including his own grandson. That's how sick he is. I have a saying, and it's kind of a spin-off off Steinbeck. You know, I love Steinbeck. And anyway, remember in East of Eden when he says, the very rich in this country are a poor bunch of bastards. Well, my saying is this. I know a lot of very rich people who live very poor lives. That guy's one of them. When I left, my matrix that I had built up, it was right after the election of Barack Obama. I said, technology's going to go again. IBM, Apple, Google. I built a basket, and I says, we should wait 50% technology, some other things, blah, 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 blah. Well, the day that I went into Apple was at $90. I was a little early. I'm famous for being early. Well, anyway, he bet me the day that he let me go that Apple would see $50 before it ever seen $150. So I emailed him one day and I said, you want to go double or nothing? He bet me $10,000. I said, you want to go down to nothing when it was 180 for 300 or two? Yeah. Well, it closed over 300. Okay, let's think about let's get real. The stock market is up 40% since the election of Barack Obama. This economy is getting better. You know, I know people think I'm angry. I'm angry about a lot of things. But you know what? I had a long talk with myself. Look, what am I angry about? I mean, what are all animals angry about? Look, I mean, I have my health. I have wonderful, beautiful daughters. I have some new grandchildren that are healthy and beautiful. You know, I live in this incredible, beautiful setting. Yeah, don't have a job, I'm broke, but you know what? It's like this. My stucco and plaster business got destroyed by the exploitation of illegal labor. You wonder why I'm so mad about that. Well, you know, watch me with a Hawken trial. Watch me go. You know, the people that I worked for years ago says, I have never seen nothing like you. I was apprentice of the year in the entire United States when I was young. I can use a Hawken trial. I can go across a wall and make your head spin off. You know, very skilled. You know, what was the Adam Smith School of Economics? You know, you get so skilled in everything, but the one equation that he couldn't plug in was the exploitation of slaves. That's what they are. They've turned them into brown slaves. I have a friend at NYU who's doing a compare and contrast about the antebellum black slave and the exploitation of illegals, whose quality of life is higher. Wait till you read this thing. He's got it done. He's working on his PhD like I am. Look, a year and a half ago, everything imploded on me. You know, so you can't just lay down. So what I did, I thought, well, you know, you have your brain, you have your body. All you can do is go to work on yourself. Sometimes you got to rub sticks together. And you rub them for a long time and nothing happens, you get frustrated. You rub your back sore, your hands sore, but you keep rubbing. You keep gathering leaves and you rub them. You know, so I went back to school working on my PhD, working on my brain, working on my mind. I didn't know how to build a website a couple of years ago. You know, I'm 50 years old. Hell, when I learned how to type in college, we were teaching us DOS and WordPerfect. By, you know, coincidence was right here. We were the technology hub. Omega right down the freaking road. Novell, WordPerfect. The two greatest inventions in the last 100 years came right out of universities here. The operating system came out of WordPerfect, not Microsoft. They stole it. Okay? The television, Fido Farnsworth. Okay, all these great. We were a technology hub. It's been crushed, destroyed. Just like every other business in America, they're in China. But my point is this, and I'm going to go off on a little bit of politics right now. Look, this Tea Party movement, Please, please, every election in the history of this country, I'm a U.S. economic history guy, every single election, forever and ever, ever, the party that's in power loses seats in the midterms. It's always been that way. Now look, this Tea Party, you can say whatever you want, they call themselves independents. I'm a white, middle-aged male in Utah, so I'm in the circle of them all. They're embarrassed to call them, they're Republicans. They are nothing more than Republicans. That's all they are. They're embarrassed to call themselves Republicans. I know hardcore dug-in Republicans forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. They're embarrassed to call themselves Republicans because they've always preached fiscal responsibility. They know what happened the last 10 years. They were in power. Bush was in power, and look what happened. The debts exploded, went psychotic. So they're embarrassed. So they call themselves independents. They joined the Tea Party. Yeah, and they've gathered up some fringe element people who've never been in, because they got a platform. They got a platform to spew hate. I think they pushed some of that out, but their candidates up there, whoa. Now let's go back to economics, okay? The same thing was being said in this magazine over and over and over and over. FDR is a socialist. He's a socialist. I mean, it's over and it's the exact same rhetoric as today. Exact. Okay. The difference between this is my 2 cents, and that's beautiful about YouTube and the whole internet. We all get our 2 cents. Okay, well, here's my 2 cents. Barack Obama, boot Bernanke, he's a Republican. Okay, we had demand-side economists from Mariner Eccles, right here. This is his school, this is his place, this is his town. Born and raised, head of the Fed, developed the Fed. He was a demand-side economist from 32 to 48. We had demand-side economists all the way through until Reagan booted Volcker. Okay, gone. So we've had demand-side the whole time. Greenspan, the fake Ayn Rander, Bernanke, the fake. Just lower interest rates, lower interest rates. Well, what's the byproduct of all this? Jobs in China, no government regulation, BP disaster, mining disasters, business just completely taking control, no regulation. You've seen what the article in this magazine, well, this, the market crash in 29. This is in the heat of the Great Depression. We're in the same place right now. If you're working class American, things are getting better, but get rid of Bernanke. Raise this interest rate. Let this interest rate float naturally where it's supposed to go. Look, and I hear people all the time, Bernanke says he's a student of the Depression. So am I. I'd love to debate this moron. Look, he says the policies did not work in the 30s of Mariner Eccles. He's wrong. They did work. They did work. And from 1945 to 1975, we had the strongest middle class in the history of the world. Do you think it's a coincidence that we had this great, strong middle class and everybody had money, and then from 80 on it slowly dissolved? It's no coincidence. It's the federal economic policies. Republicans. Supply-side economics. Lower taxes, lower taxes, lower taxes, lower taxes. That's all they know. At the same time, the component they forgot to equate was they're warmongers. They want to be at war all the time, but wars cost money. Okay? So, lower taxes, free market, blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous. It's overblown. It's overdone. Stay with me. I have a new site coming up that I have partnered with a 35-year-old female from Germany. And it works out perfect. My last name is the French word for white. I have no French blood. My bloodlines are Swiss and Danish. And her last name is the German word for black. We've combined it together. She has an MBA from Harvard. I met her when I was on Wall Street. She's a brilliant woman. And it's strictly a business relationship, but she's a beautiful writer. She's so intelligent about the market. She lives in Switzerland, and we've partnered together on this site. We've been working on it all week. I have never worked so hard in my life for so little over the last 2 years. I've been working on a documentary, Exploiters or the Exploited. I've been working on my PhD. I've been working on websites. I've been going. I didn't lay down and I didn't quit. So I've been going. I've going. I've never worked so hard for so less. And like I said, I'll leave this one last famous thing from my favorite writer, Steinbeck. Remember what he said in East of Eden? Greats Wrath, my favorite book of all time. But he says, 1930s, based on 1930s. He said this: the very rich in this country are a poor bunch of bastards. My friend says, let these creeps have it. Let these guys exploit these illegals. Let them have it. Let them chase their tail. And that's all they're doing, chasing their tail. Let them have it. Doesn't sound like too much fun to me. Kevin Blanche. My new site will be up. We'll have it done Wednesday. We're going to do vlogs, blogs. We've got 40 different countries we're tracking, travel, the market's in a very creative, dynamic process. This ain't going to be no site that you just go to and find IT information. What's the market done? It's going to be fundamental analysis. We step back. My favorite artist is Malay. You know, like he did. He stepped back on his painting and give a wider, broader perspective. And that's what we're going to do. We're both U.S. economic history. Well, she's world economic history is her forte. European economic history is her degree. Mine is U.S. economic history. That's where I'm getting my PhD in. But stay with us. 33.
I love those old ads.
Kevin Blanche. October 2010.